I get a lot of emails from gear companies. Some are from brands you'd recognize, and some are from people I've never heard of. So I thought, what would happen if I said yes to every single gear email? Well, this is what showed up. It is a wild mix, I will tell you that. Some of it's awesome, some weird, and a few, honestly, I have no idea how they even found my inbox. And we're gonna show you some of it. And because I obviously don't need all of this stuff, I'm giving a bunch of it away. Stick around. I'll tell you how you can win some of the gear later in this video. This is probably the strangest item that was sent to me. When this showed up, it was kind of surprising, actually. I didn't know exactly what it was. It looks just like a really old piece of Swiss cheese, to be totally honest with you, but it's the Axis hand axe. And it's designed so that you can actually just chop whatever you want like an axe while holding it in your hand. So it's actually made out of D2 steel. It's 3/8 of an inch and it's 7 inches long. The blade length is 5.3 inches. Pretty sure this is a Kydex sheath and it does fit actually really nicely in there. But I think we should just go chop some stuff. See if it actually does what it says it can do. I feel like this is a really hard piece of wood. I'm gonna be here all day. I'm not lying. And I should be wearing gloves because my finger's already starting to hurt. I think this is how you're supposed to hold it, because I think this is how I saw the guy hold it on the video, but it kind of rubs right there actually. This is a really hard piece of wood. I don't think that's a super fair test. Now you can actually tie this off into an axe, which we're not gonna do. So I'll just roll some video from their video, which also seemed extremely tedious to do, just to save yourself from having to carry like a hatchet or a full-size axe. But I do think the idea is really cool in that it's super versatile, pretty lightweight for what it is. You can cut the cheese with it, you can cut sausage, you can chop things, you can cut things. But the downside, this is $185 US. I want you to let that sink in for a second. $185 US. So this is for the bushcrafter. This is for the guy that needs something to do in the middle of the woods, wants to take all day trying to chop things up. This is for the guy that likes to build his shelter himself. I'm just gonna bring like a silky saw, to be honest with you, or something foldable for way less money. So it's hard for me to rate this because I think it is a pretty cool idea. A lot of different finger positionings, I suppose, to be able to do certain things. Like you could probably hold it like this to be able to cut things a little more intricately, like if you wanted to, I don't know, try to feather wood, I guess, which I'm not a bushcrafter, as you can tell. And you're not gonna use this really to be super intricate. I feel like guys that carry this are also gonna have a knife in their pocket. So there's always that. Idea is cool. I'm gonna give this 2 stars. So probably the most complicated piece of gear that I was sent in all of the emails that I got was this flashlight here. This is the Wuben X4. And this is full of buttons that are completely unnecessary in my opinion. So I like a flashlight to do one thing. It's turn on and light things up. This is probably the most complicated flashlight I have ever seen. It's got this little slide here to decide which setting you want it on. So down here it's locked. Right here it's the side light. Right here is the front light. And then right here is moonlight. But in the dark, if I'm just gonna like pull this out of my pocket and use it, I'm not keeping track of exactly where I've got it. And if it's locked down here in my pocket, I would need to get to it quick. What am I gonna count the clicks? And then once you get it to say, turn on, you hold down this button. Well, wait, that wasn't right. There we go. I pushed the button down, now I know. But instead of pushing the button again to go through the modes, you've got to twist this side knob here. And what's even weirder about it, so like if I pull it out of my pocket and I've got it like this and it's dark, I go this way is pushing my thumb on the side like this is to dim it. But if I've got it like this, pushing my thumb on the side now is the opposite. It's just not intuitive. It's like brightening instead of dimming, just the way I've got it. And it's also got this little back button here that only works when it's in like, I think like a moonlight mode. It's so confusing. So now if I want to, there we go, I put it into the main mode and I can hit this button on the side if I want to like, well, I've double clicked it, so I'm accidentally causing a seizure to somebody, I'm sorry. Like I can pretend I'm a cop, I guess, walk around. And then the other strange thing about this is that side light. Like the side light is so weird. So you've got a white light that also is controlled by dimming, but then you hold it down and now you've got all these different colors that you can't even get to because they're so hard to find. Oh, there, the blue, Got teal. Why would you need teal? I don't know. What are you gonna light up yellow? Do you need anything yellow in your life? You can buy this light if you want to. Red light's nice if you're in your tent. I'm gonna give this thing, based on the technically difficult usage alone, this is a 1 out of 5. The price on this is $50, which is actually a pretty good price for a light that's 1500 lumens. So if you want to be able to light something up and have it take 20 minutes, this is your light. One of the most exciting pieces of gear I got came from the Alaska Gear Company. And when we got this boot, I had no idea what to expect since it's called a bunny boot. Upon opening this box was probably the strangest thing I've ever seen. And if this is something that's like normal for people in Alaska in extreme conditions, I'm just not your guy. I'm not really sure why this was sent to me, to be totally honest with you, because I don't live in those conditions. Here we go. Introducing the bunny boot. I'm not gonna remember all the specs about this particular one, so we'll put some up on screen, but low end temperature, like comfort rating is -25 degrees. I kind of feel like this is the thing that I would see Marilyn Manson wearing on stage, except for it would be black, just throwing that out there. And I'm way outside of my lane with this boot, but it is very interesting. So if you've ever used anything like this, let me know in the comments below how insane I'm being, just thinking this is kind of the weirdest boot I've ever seen, especially since I don't head to the North Pole very often. There's very little use case for this for me, but it was proven, designed, and tested by the Alaska Gear Company, so there's always that. And they're pretty legit, right, Alaska? Fully waterproofed insulation, insole aeration system. All right, let's try it on. Let's see how it fits.
There was a warning on the website that your feet will sweat.
Your feet will sweat?
Yeah.
They're waterproof from the outside. If you're size 12, we're gonna be giving these away. So just throwing that out there. Size 12ers. How do you, I feel like this should be, somebody in Alaska right now is like screaming at their screen, "You idiot, do you not know how to put on an Alaskan Boot Company bunny boot?" No, no I don't. I feel like this should have gone to like, I don't know, Les Stroud, Bear Grylls. I'm not sure why this got sent to me. It's not even gonna get tighter. These are way too big for my, I'd probably be wearing really thick socks. How do I look?
3 inches taller.
Oh yeah. I feel like they weigh like 3.5 pounds each. I think you said 7 pounds total.
Yep.
I feel like if I was in Alaska in really deep snow, I wouldn't be making fun of these as much. I feel like I'd be wearing these. I'd be like, where's my bunny boot? So with that in mind, I'm gonna give these a 4. Yeah, not bad. Price is what?
They're on sale right now for $290, but they're originally $350.
Oh, $350. You know, honestly, I would have probably expected a boot like this to be even more expensive. So yeah, okay, yeah, I stick with my 4 stars. Another email I'm very glad I said yes to is Zenbivy. Just coincidentally, they actually sent me an email and were like, hey, we want to send you our latest extreme cold Zenbivy. So this is their -5 degree Fahrenheit Zenbivy. And look at the loft on this thing. So if you don't know what a Zenbivy is, let me just explain it to you. It's essentially a bed for the backcountry. So this fitted sheet goes on top of your air mattress. It'll fit pretty much any air mattress. And then this is the quilt. So this lays on top of you, okay? And then when you get inside of the quilt, it just lays on top of you, but it's got what's called a fast foot box here. So this will open up, but when you put your feet into it, it closes right away over your feet, which is really cool. And then when you want to get in and out of it, it's got these little kind of side walls here that clasp just like this, and they're color coded so you know right where to put them. So basically, the reason that this is so cool is that this is essentially taking all of the constricted, claustrophobic feel that somebody would feel when they're inside of a sleeping bag. And this allows the quilt to always stay around you, even if it's moving, without having big drafts come underneath you. And then you can just kind of pull this back and here's your hood, okay? So you're literally just like laying in a bed at home. Throw that over the top of you, you can roll around on the inside of it. You don't have to be a back sleeper, you don't have to be a stomach sleeper, a side sleeper, you can be any kind of a sleeper. Honestly, a Zenbivy has always been the most comfortable thing for me to ever sleep in. So now that they're doing super extreme winter stuff, a -5, 5 stars, 100%. What does this thing cost?
$370.
Really? That's it?
Yes.
$370? That's really cheap. We're gonna verify putting up the price on the screen, but if this thing's under $400, then it's no longer a 5, it's a 10. Pick it up right now. This is deep winter camping type stuff. So 800 filled down, I know that. And it also looks cool because it's the same colors as my logo. So then, ooh, it's still cold, but not in here. See, then you could just roll around.
And your blanket doesn't come off.
So if you roll around, it just stays over the top of you, you know what I mean?
What's the longevity of the life of the clasps rolling around?
I broke one. I haven't heard many complaints of it.
What kind of policy do they have as like a company with that? So like if it broke, would they
I can imagine they're
fix
probably
it?
really good, yeah. He's one of the few people that doesn't make garbage. This next one, I've seen it in the hammock world. For those of you that don't know, I used to be a hammock camper. I've got probably 100 nights in a hammock. This came out a few years ago, but I've never seen it in person. And so when it arrived, I was really excited to set it up. It's called an Amok hammock. Obviously, the unique thing about this hammock is that it doesn't lay with your head and foot towards the trees. You're laying perpendicular, which is interesting because it sort of gives it this lay flat design. And they claim that you can sleep on your back, you can sleep on your side, and you can sleep on your stomach. And it's got all kinds of really cool pockets on the inside to be able to put your gear, your phone. It's got a spot here for like a Nalgene bottle. It's adjustable. It's adjustable to also put it in sort of like this chair mode, which is really interesting. And then it comes with a bug net that goes over the top. And then they also sent a tarp, which I'm not gonna set up because we're not really conducive to set up a tarp with all the brush back there. But I will put up a short little video that they have of the tarp that goes over the top of it. Pretty lightweight. This is the extra large version of this hammock. They do make an ultralight version as well. And took me probably all of 5 minutes to set it up, maybe less, maybe even 3 minutes. It was probably the easiest hammock setup I've ever set up, even though it looks super complicated. The worst part about it was filling up the air pad and getting the air pad to go up the sleeve. So you don't need these poles according to their videos that I've watched on this thing, but in order to give yourself a little more room, they're nice to have, which I like room inside of a hammock because I get a little claustrophobic in hammocks. This hammock setup as is $219. The sleeping pad is sold separately, but you can use your own sleeping pad if you want to. It should work. That pad is $150 and they claim it's an R5, and the tarp that goes over the top is also an additional cost, which I don't remember what it is, so we'll put it on the screen in the specs. I would give this, based on everything here, all of what it is, for the guy that likes to use this sort of a thing, this is certainly a 5-star product in my opinion. The quality is next level. They've done a really good job designing it, and if I was hammock camping again, I'd definitely check it out. So communicating with people in the backcountry when you're hanging out on group trips is always an issue, especially if you're in different camps or maybe you've hiked off ahead of them, a couple miles out, whatever. So this next item that was sent to me is called a Talkie, and it's essentially just a really rugged outdoor style, like they're all outdoor style, obviously, walkie-talkies. They claim that this has the highest signal strength before you would need any sort of like a license or a permit or something to be able to use it for that. And it's got a 35-mile range line of sight. And if you're in like sort of the woods or the mountains, it should reach up to a mile, I believe. So when they say this is rugged, it is seemingly a rugged piece of gear. You get sort of this carabiner to be able to attach it to, say, a sternum strap or a shoulder strap on a backpack, a secondary carabiner to be able to attach to your belt, say you're rock climbing and it drops out of your hands, you're not gonna lose it. It also has between a 3 and a 5 day charge, which is great to be able to use in the backcountry. And the temperature rating is pretty crazy. So you can get down to like negative 25 degrees and this thing will still work, and like up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not going out in either of those conditions, so this is always gonna work for me. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, but the price on this is $110 per walkie-talkie. So consider that. Breaker.
Are you there? Hey, mine needs to turn.
Go away, please.
That is so loud.
I think we should test these. What do you think?
Let's hit the road.
I'll hit the road. You stay here. I'll see how far I can get, and then I'll set my tachometer to whatever distance it turns off at.
Do we have code names?
For sure. What's your code name?
Eagle. You can be Texas Ranger.
I like that. Texas Ranger, getting in truck.
And we are going to start this test. What do you say, Eagle?
We're ready to fly.
Okay, so you can see that I've got my mileage set to 0, and here we go. Okay, I'm backing out of the driveway, folks. Eagle, can you hear me? I'm literally around the corner now.
Still hearing you, Texas Ranger.
This is a really non-scientific, terrible test, so I don't know if this should be at all used for anyone to actually purchase this thing. What do you think?
Well, I think that 2,500 people online said that it's worth their time, and so they are looking at it in all different types of terrain, and I feel like if it doesn't make this, then we'll be the first 1 star.
Ah, good point. Also, I am at the stoplight near my house. I am 0.2 miles away.
Cool.
And we're getting slight static. All right, here we go.
So it says customers say these radios excel in outdoor settings with exceptional battery life and clear audio quality. Many reviews mention reliable performance across challenging terrain from mountain peaks to dense forest.
0.3 miles.
The device is particularly useful for climbing, hiking, and family activities. Some note that the price point and which for alternatives such options.
Okay, I am 0.4 miles away. I'm pulling into a parking lot because I can barely hear you. I'm gonna get out of my truck and see if it sounds any better.
Honestly, you sound pretty clear on my side.
Oh, really? Okay, well let me step out of my truck here.
Is that any better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. How does mine sound?
Yeah, it sounds way better when I'm not in my truck. I'm gonna try driving with my windows down. I got a feeling like signal goes through windows poorly.
I have no idea. Here we go, folks. Here we go. We are back on the road, driving again. All right, we are half a mile away. How do we sound? Forgot to roll down my windows. Rolling windows down now. How about now? Can you hear me?
You're breaking up, Ranger.
0.6 miles. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
That might be it. That might be the limit right there. Can you hear me right now? Hello, 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 hello.
How far away do we think he was? Guess below.
That's it. That's it. That's all we got. Oh, yeah, we're gonna call it. I'm 0.7 miles away. There's houses all around me, fences, trees. You know, I'm gonna just give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna get out of the truck one more time, I think. Actually, I'm just... Oh, hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, no, she's not getting it. About a half a mile, 0.6 miles. That's about all these are good for in the city. My backyard sort of dips a little bit as well. It does go a little bit down, so there's always that. Plus, she's behind my house. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm headed back. I'm headed back.
We hear you.
All right, I think at about 0.7 miles is what they're good for. 0.6, 0.7, somewhere there.
For $110, what are your thoughts? Worth it? How many stars?
Yeah, so I think that these are pretty cool. I feel like they're no better than an average walkie-talkie, like Motorola strength that you'd find at like a Walmart for the 35-mile line to sight, you know, distance. I feel like that's pretty standard across the board. I think where these win is in their durability and their ease of use, and they're just meant for the people of the outdoors. And so in that case, I think that the right person is going to buy these, and they've got really good ratings from what we looked at. I mean, that many thousands of reviews and like a 5-star rating according to their website. So I'm probably not going to be the one taking these out anywhere, but it's not a use case for me. But for what they do and what they are, I'm going to give these 4 stars just because of the price. I think $110, I think you said, or whatever it is pretty expensive for these.
Fair.
Yep, this is Texas Ranger pulling back in and over and out. So you could still hear me, but I couldn't hear you at 0.7 miles?
Yeah, correct. And a little bit before that.
Really?
About like half a mile in.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it might have been my truck. So don't drive in your truck and use it is the lesson there. All right, we are going to be giving some of this stuff away. So if you want it, like the Amok hammock, click the top link in the description of this video to enter.